Jojo Siwa is having some bizarre adventures. Recently, the self-declared inventor of gay pop has been back in the headlines, and oh, for all the wrong reasons. Welcome to hell. Because our problematic person of the week is none other than Miss Jojo Siwa. There's a lot of drama to unpack here, and just about everything I know about her I've learned against my will, but there's actually a lot going on. Today we're gonna go through the recent bizarre adventures of Jojo and her interesting rebrand era. From the whole karma debacle to like all the scandals, fake pregnancies, and just the rebrand itself, it's a lot. So in case you've been living under a rock, Jojo Siwa was famously on 2 seasons of Dance Moms. You know, that wholesome show that definitely wasn't a horrible place. Throughout all this, her mom, Jessalyn, was her manager. Remember that little detail, okay? Because it gets very important later on. She had a successful career in kids TV for a few years with her TV shows on Nickelodeon. And her makeup products that definitely weren't poisonous. More on that later. And one of her projects during this time was XOMG Pop. This girl group made of kids was formed by Jojo Siwa and her mom, and the group was recently a focus on the Rolling Stones article titled, Jojo Siwa Promised Them Pop Stardom. They say they were thrown in the trash. Basically, the article is about a XOMG member who was disabled named Leah Anderson. She was born with spina bifida, which is like a birth defect where your spine doesn't completely function and form properly. It's terrible. Anyways, Leia was strong, and despite her condition was able to dance her way into XOMG Pop. I mean, that is fantastic for her and all, but what happened next was not fantastic. You would think that JoJo being on Dance Moms would mean that she would make her own group less toxic than what her actual experience was. But let's see what their training regimen was actually like. Like grueling rehearsals every day, sometimes forgoing school breaks, which is terrible for any child, but more so for someone with a condition like Leia does. Leia was flown to LA with her mom where she spent 2 years, and it was, quote, the exact opposite of what Leia had dreamed about as a little girl. The article then details the bad conditions that Jessalyn Siwa has allegedly put them through, and also that Jessalyn was overly cruel and called them names, and also shamed them for having a disability. I'm not a judge, but you can't do that, okay? That is ableist, okay? Jojo was also nasty and domineering in her presence, which contrasts to her scream persona where she's like this bubbly, kid-friendly figure. And she would also scream insults at the girls during a performance. Like Jojo, it's not that serious. Okay, look, I know the movies show drill sergeants doing tough love like, get up, you cockroach, if you don't, you're not good enough for America. I don't know why I just became Nixon there. But you just can't apply the same for music, and especially not for kids. So when Leia's mom, Edgy, brought up her concerns, Leia was promptly fired from the group, which led to accusations of Jojo and her team being ableist. So besides XOMG, what else has Jojo been up to? She also has a podcast now. Like, I know her audience is 8-year-olds, still, for some reason. Which is weird, actually, that she's still pandering to that audience at this age. Like, it's so weird. But that podcast set, I'm pressing charges, okay? That's just atrocious. Also, what kids are listening to podcasts? Like, that shit's for old people like us. Anyways, on a recent podcast, not hers, but Howie Mandel's podcast, he really found the American talent in that one, huh? Anyways, Jojo was on there to talk about Colleen Ballinger, aka Miranda Sings, who, if you don't already know yet, it's probably best that you didn't. But to put it lightly, she had a grooming scandal.
I've known Colleen since I was 12.
Just saying this as a parent again. You said you started communicating with her when you were 12.
Yes.
Do you want to be a parent?
But you guys were in the same industry,
so we were
too.
in the
like,
same.
You guys were making videos and stuff together.
Do you think it's all a lie? Do you think it's like? Have you talked to her?
The problem is the internet was able to capitalize off of her cancellation, and they still are, and they still are continuing to, and it's not okay because a lot of it is based off of lies.
Yes, I agree that sometimes we are too quick to pounce on the hot toxic tea of the week, but yeah, that's not a good look, Jojo. Fans were also upset at her for lying about a pregnancy, of all things. So there was this post that she made where she was holding her belly multiple times, like you would in a pregnancy announcement. So a lot of people were like, oh, congratulations on the baby, very nice. So what started as a joke, she definitely took it way too far, and even posted asking if people were team boy or team girl. So she really did make the fans do all the work, like even putting in the effort for fake gender reveals. I mean, at least this gender reveal didn't burn down half a forest, but so she was doing this for attention, I guess? Is it necessarily wrong? No, but it was kind of stupid, okay? Like, I said it once, I'll say it again. She definitely let that joke go on way longer than it has to, and by the end, she annoyed everybody, okay? Like, including her fans. It's like that one kid in school who just makes up lies for the attention, okay? No one likes a liar. Afterwards, she's like, oh, I'm not lying. I never said that I was pregnant. Well, you sure as hell were implying it, huh, Jojo? Your audience isn't stupid, okay? Unlike this fake pregnancy. She also might actually be pregnant now, so congratulations? I don't know anymore, okay? Fake pregnancy round 2? But yeah, even before all that, her name was already tied to like a lot of controversy. You know Claire's? Like that shop in every mall in America where kids go to get their ears pierced, aka my absolute worst nightmare. So Jojo sold her makeup line there. It turns out that her entire line was contaminated by asbestos. Like, you know, that cancer-inducing substance? Like, that asbestos? What? Okay, maybe she didn't know, but she still should have checked, okay? Her name is on that label, and she should have checked that her products that were made for literal 8-year-olds aren't going to get them unalived. Like, what is wrong with you? I also really hope that she didn't actually know about the asbestos, because if she did, you're a supervillain. Okay, you might look like one right now, like you already have the whole outfit and all that, but that is just messed up if you knew. Fast forward to today with the release of her song Karma. Let's listen to a little bit of it, okay, in case you haven't heard it yet.
I was a bad girl, I did some bad things.
Yes, Jojo. I would argue that being ableist and selling kids makeup with asbestos in them would indeed qualify as bad. Like, very bad. Britni Smith, who recorded a version of it all the way back in 2012. You know, simpler times. Back when we thought the world was gonna end. Now, I don't agree with people who say that she stole the song, because that's just the whole point of buying songs from other artists. But what was wrong was to claim that you wrote the song yourself, since the two songs were basically the same. In fact, Karma really was a bitch, and right now on the Billboard charts, like Britni Smith's re-release of the song is charting way higher than JoJo's version. This song has also caused half the internet to go insane. That even sprouted this totally unbelievable theory that Jojo Siwa was somehow connected to the death of OJ Simpson. Like, Karma has 5 letters. 5 days after the song was released, OJ dies. And what is OJ spelled backwards and doubled? Jojo. Okay, now that was stupid, okay? Still not as stupid as that fake pregnancy, okay? I'm still going on about that. I'm pressing charges. So now let's talk about her rebrand itself. One day, JoJo came back into the spotlight and is now dressed like Ghost Adventures host Zach Bagans and came out with a rebrand. You know what that means? That means she's finally doing big girl shit, like exiting an LA adult store with a giant bag full of toys and a giant snake. Now, I know that it's perfectly normal for adults to buy and use this stuff, but in my opinion, she's being way too open about this, probably as part of the Edgy rebrand. But it's like going from a 0 to 100, okay? Like, the majority of her audience is still kids, so she should be aware of that. Like, JoJo started with this kid-friendly image back when she was just a kid herself, and then it's like magically out of nowhere, she just turned edgy overnight. If this sounds familiar, it's because we've seen this happen multiple times before, and it is just sad, okay? And sure, some might say that it's growing up with a messed up childhood, being in the spotlight in Hollywood, but I mean, her mom was involved, so it can't be that bad, right? So just because the parents are involved isn't a guarantee that child stars are able to have a normal transition into adulthood. Jeanette McCurdy. Also, just like half of the internet last month, I too saw Quiet on set. And even when the parents are there, bad shit can happen. Jessalyn Siwa, I would argue, is just as much as big of a problem that leads us to where we are today. So is JoJo's rebrand a total PR disaster? I'd say so. She now walks around looking like a rejected member of KISS and dressing dressing up like our favorite Hot Topic king, Zach Bagans. She looks like she's getting ready to hunt some ghosts. Anyways, that is but a brief summary into the whole saga of Jojo Siwa. Just the weird and problematic stuff that has been going on with Jojo. Does she need help? I think so. What do you Mochis think? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace, love, Tupac. Bye.